p.m. to 11 p.m. and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and the holiday sales event is now underway with unbelievably low interest rates and huge discounts on both our new and pre-owned inventory. Right now, we're offering 0% interest rates or $13,000 off select new models. These are the absolute biggest discounts of the year. You heard right, 0% interest rates or $13,000 off select new models. So please stop on in or check us out online at cobblecars.com. All deals with approved credit must trade in Costco.
What a day. I could sure use an afternoon pick-me-up. Hold up. The new 93.7 The Ticket location has a milk, coffee, and tea inside? Oh yeah, this is a game changer.
Need an afternoon pick-me-up? How about a coffee or smoothie on your way to work? Stop by the Ticket Mill location on 1040 O Street to get your go-to drink or try out our new game day drinks exclusive to the Ticket Mill location. We know it'll make your day a million times better.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Hello, Charlie Stone here, and with me on the line is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, it's been a while since we talked. Hey, what's the latest news at Honda of Lincoln?
It has been a while, Charlie. I hope you're doing well. Happy Honda Days is in full swing, and we have over 200 new Hondas in stock right now, ready for our customers to drive home.
Wow, that's the most you've had in a long time.
It is, Charlie. And we have great lease offers and financing from just 0.9% APR.
Hey, Andy, let me tell them about the pre-owned. They have over 125 pre-owned and certified pre-owned to choose from, with financing from 3.9% APR available. Incredible deals on new and used during Happy Honda Days, or if you need tires on your current vehicle, Honda of Lincoln is your best choice. Maybe it's time you experience the best. The Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
The dangers of secondhand smoke are well known. But what about secondhand aerosol, which is created when using e-cigarettes? Science already shows a secondhand aerosol can contain nicotine, heavy metals, and cancer-causing agents. Eliminating exposure to secondhand aerosol is an important step to keeping everyone safe. Breathe easier knowing the facts.
For help quitting, call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. We're kicking off Ticket Weeknights on a Monday with the Husker Football Hour. I'm Austin Oerman at 1040 O Street on our VIP line, brought to you by Aloe Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. It's Tom Shatel, lead sports columnist of the Omaha World Herald. Let's bring him in now. Tom, how's your last 7 days been?
Good. Just a lot of volleyball going on.
Hey, that there is. Let's just jump off with that. Huskers back to the Final Four. Of course, they made it all the way to the national championship match last year. What's been your impression of John Cook and his Huskers this year on their little bit of a revenge tour?
It's amazing to me that, I mean, first of all, what they're doing is incredibly hard. Maybe the hardest thing in sports is to go all the way to the last game of the season and lose, and then have to come back and do it all over again. Now, granted, with the same players, and they certainly added a couple of very, very good players. But you know, if you think about last year, starting with the stadium game, and then beating number one Wisconsin at home. I hadn't beaten them in a while. Winning the Big Ten, and then going to the national championship game. It's an incredible year, and but it didn't end the right way. There was a little bit of a hollow feeling there, but they had to do it all over again. They had everything. I mean, I think last year the stadium match kind of rode that wave for a while last year. It was sort of this year had this kind of magical feel to it, like there was fate there, that they were supposed to be there at the end. We had to do it all over again, and without that momentum early. So, and the fact that they've done it, that they came back and they won the Big Ten again. They've beaten all these great teams. But just the fact that they've done it with such joy. It should have been a grind, and it hasn't. That they haven't worn the grind on their faces at all. They're doing all these goofy TikToks, and they've got John Cook laughing and kind of cutting up, and he and Harper are kind of a comedy team. You know, we see them together; they're laughing and kind of, I think, it digs at each other that are funny. I mean, it's great. It's great stuff, and it's just amazing to me that you could go. You have to do with all the pressure and all the people coming at you. And they don't make it look easy, but they make it look like it's fun. So I'm really impressed with that, and I think they're going to do it this week. I think they're the best team. A lot of people think it's Pitt. I think Louisville might knock off Pitt with the home crowd. We'll see. But I think Nebraska is really, and they the thing we saw Sunday. I don't know if you watched the match on Sunday. I was there. I don't go to a lot of volleyball matches, but I certainly have been to enough to know that what happened Sunday was very rare and very special. It was just the atmosphere and the level of play were both almost like all-time highs.
it felt almost like catharsis again. I mean, it's not like Nebraska hadn't beaten Wisconsin before. I mean, it happened twice this season, and it was a sweep. But, Tom, like you said, it's the postseason, right? You face a team for a third time. There's that old adage, it's hard to beat the same team twice or three times in the same year, after Nebraska already swept them on the road and then swept them in Lincoln once again. Certainly not a bad Wisconsin team, but when you were in the arena, you watched this game in person, it's the third sweep. What maybe stood out about this Nebraska team against this Wisconsin team compared to years past?
Well, they've always been tough. They've always been resilient. I think this match, the way it started out, it was a sweep, but it felt like a 5-set brawl. It felt like a 12-round fight. The way the first set was just unbelievable. And Wisconsin came out, throwing haymakers and really giving their best shot. And Nebraska had to answer. And they finally got it tied up, I think, about 14 or 15, and they went ahead, and it went on the way to like 26-24. And it was, it felt like the first two sets, or I guess even all three sets, but it felt like the last 4 years of Wisconsin-Nebraska matches all in one match. It just felt like all the emotion, all the intensity, all the playmaking in one match from the last 4 years of rivalry. And, it just, you saw these incredible plays, and, Lacey Rodriguez is doing all this standing on her head, like they say in hockey. She's like literally standing on her head, knocking things off, saving balls with her elbows and all this stuff, and legs, and it's just that they continue to top each other, and Wisconsin did too. And it was, Sarah Franklin has been the Big Ten Player of the Year probably for the last 10 years, it seems like, and she had a hell of a game. And I watched her at the press conference, and she was tearing up, and it looked just like the emotion of it. I think it finally hit her that the career was over, and same kind of thing we saw with Creighton last night. These teams that are great get on runs, and they play so well and such a high level for so long. When it's over, it's you come down, and it's just it hits you like a truck. And but I even think Nebraska was, they were hit by the truck. Like they keep going, but it's just this time of year, these things are unbelievable. And certainly we've missed them in other sports. I won't name names, but. This volleyball thing is fun. The postseason, when you get a team with this kind of chemistry and the level of play, I don't know. Is this the best Nebraska team ever? I don't know. I'm not that smart, but it's certainly, if they win it all, you can make the case. Yeah, that thing yesterday was, no matter what they end up doing this week, will be remembered as one of the great days in Nebraska volleyball.
That was going to be one of my next questions for you, Tom, is are you in championship or bust mode with this team, right? Last year, maybe they're a little young. It's all freshmen, just kind of happy to be there, don't really know what they don't know. And Texas says, nope, we're still here. We're the defending national champs. We're going back to back. This year, a year older, a year wiser, most of the same team back, like you said, not the exact same team. Obviously, this is a championship program with championship standards, but there's familiarity with all three opponents. Penn State in the conference, they beat Nebraska once this year. Pitt has revenge on its mind, as does Louisville playing in its home gym. It's not going to be easy for the Huskers, but you have them as the favorites going in?
Yes, I do. But a lot of people are going to have Pitt as a favorite. Actually, Nebraska beat Pitt in the last year's semifinal, and actually handled them pretty well. It doesn't mean they're going to do it this year, but Nebraska is just so stacked. They've got people that aren't playing who are Final Four caliber players. I mean, they're just loaded. And so I think if they have to play at the high level again, but there's really, Louisville will be the home team. Penn State doesn't look like, they beat Nebraska, but they don't look like they're at the same level right now. But they're certainly very good. I'm not saying that nobody is really looks dominant or scary at this thing. But I would say Nebraska has the best resume at the Final Four of this season's who they've beaten. And they're older. I just think Lexi Rodriguez is on a mission. And I think she's going to get it done. They're all going to get it done.
No shame in Creighton falling short in the Elite Eight on the road to Penn State. What do you think a Nebraska semifinal in the Final Four, what kind of message that would have sent to the rest of the country?
If it had been Nebraska Creighton?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. It would have been totally cool. I mean, it would have been, you could have gone on the biggest stage and said, well, a lot of them are, there's some Nebraska girls on those teams. There's certainly other coming from other places too, but it's definitely a Midwest feel. And the state of Nebraska passion for the sport of volleyball would have been a talking point. Much like we almost had Kentucky against Louisville. So they couldn't quite get it done against Pitt, but but right now it's ACC versus Big Ten, so we'll have to settle for that.
What do you think makes John Cook so good at connecting with his players and keeping his team motivated, locked in, engaged, and just on the right balance emotionally, right, with everything that could go into this Final Four? Obviously, he's a pro. He's been there before. But we've seen, like, say, in men's basketball, North Carolina makes the run as the 8 seed to the national championship, brings the whole gang back, and then misses the tournament as the number 1 overall seed. What makes John Cook so good at pressing the right buttons with his team year in, year out?
The way he's wired. Some people are just wired differently, and he's wired to always seek another answer, always seek a challenge, always find a better way. And he hit the wall. They're right in the middle of his about 10 years or so into his head coaching career at Nebraska. He kind of hit the wall, and it's the last 15 to 20 years or so. They say athletes don't change, but things around the athletes have changed, and there's a lot of things that are different, and a lot of things are going on now with athletes. And I thought, John Cook had to have the self-awareness of, I'm burned out. I'm not getting it done. I've either got to change or get out. And he changed, and instead of being a hard ass, he became the coach where you could come cry on his shoulder, and you can sit in his office and talk to him. And he opened up to the ladies on his team who have all this stuff on their shoulders. And then you throw social media in, and he's I remember I did an interview with him earlier this year, and he talked about his relationship with Harper Murray and how that's changed him, and he thinks he hopes it's helped her, and he decided he was going to try to become a father figure for her, and that's something the old Cook never would have even imagined. But that's what makes him great. He's, for a while there, he's always been. There've been the different phases of Cook. There've been the Pearl Jam Cook, the Zen Master, the yoga mat Cook. The guy took his team to China and tried to do all these Chinese wisdom and lessons and messages, and and then it became the cowboy cook, and then now he's comparing things to horses and training horses and all this is just it's one after another. And by the way, all the right in the middle of all this, you got NIL. Now you're going to have revenue sharing in a year, and he's going to have to figure out that who's going to get what money and how much money. And by the way, I happened to see Troy. As an aside, I happened to see Troy Dannon last Thursday at the Matt Rule availability, and I was just talking to him. I said, "Well, about the Belichick and the general managers coming into college football." And I said, well, the general managers are probably you're probably going to have the general manager decide who gets what money, right? Because you wouldn't have the head coach do that. And he goes, oh no, he goes, that's the coach's job. And we started talking about, Matt Rule is the guy who he recruits the players. He decides who's on a scholarship. And the same thing about Will Bolt. College baseball, every baseball player doesn't get a full scholarship. They get a percentage, and the head coach is the one who decides how much money they get. And so, Troy's point is head coaches already do this, so they're going to keep doing it. It's their job to do it. And he compared Rule to being the team president of the Nebraska football. They have a general manager, Sean Payton, but he's helping. He's not making decisions. And so, anyway, I got off sidetrack there. I'm just saying, John Cook will have to, according to Troy Dan, head coaches will have to decide which one of their players is going to get paid and how much. And so that'll be just lovely for all of them. But John Cook has adjusted to all this stuff, and he'll do fine with that. And it's what they're doing now is really a testament to his growth and what he's done as a coach, and able to reach out to the players and relate to them in a much different way than he ever did. It's almost like two careers, two cooks, two different eras, but you have to do it, man. These kids change, and now they get through a year and they go into the portal, or they say, well, either you pay me more, or I'm going to the portal. I mean, and a lot of times it's not necessarily them; it's their agents or their handlers saying that. But that's where we are now. So, it's driven a lot of people out of coaching, but he's still in front.
The other thing I think is interesting to watch in the adaptation of John Cook is watching him on the sidelines during matches, right? Yeah, he'll talk, he'll give signals, he'll talk in timeouts. But if Nebraska wasn't doing as well, Tom, it'd be, he's too hands off. He's just riding it out. But I think John Cook hired a fantastic staff, right? Jalen Reyes gets a lot of props, deservedly so. Kelly Hunter, national championship winning center. And, someone by the name of Jordan Larson that might just be one of the greatest, 5 greatest Mount Rushmore type volleyball players of all time. But I think will help John Cook in making some of those decisions and dealing with some of the changes in college athletics is that he has his hands, his fingerprints all over the program, but just how much he empowers his coaching staff, and they've risen to the challenge.
I love it. I mean, you see Kelly Sheffield is up coaching and cheering and yelling at the refs. Kirsten Booth of Creighton, same thing. Most volleyball coaches are up. They're the ones pacing and walking and yelling. Cook is sitting there with his hand on his chin, kind of looking at it like he's, the old grandpa sitting there or something. But I mean, can you imagine a college basketball coach doing that? College football, everybody's standing up, but college basketball, there's usually one guy up, and it's the head coach. Imagine a college basketball coach never got up, just sat there, and wouldn't happen. Because I think college basketball coaches love the whole theater of it, and the being able to be on stage, and it's a much different world. But yeah, it's he's sitting there, and you wonder, well, does he coach? Is he doing anything? And
is Jalen the head coach?
You're damn right he is, and he's doing everything. And but he's doing it in a way that you would never guess. But yeah, he knows what they know what to do, and he's certainly coaching. He's giving signals. He's flashing what they should be doing, where they should be, and it's just fun. It's just funny that he doesn't really get up and I don't remember. I've watched these guys since 2000. I don't remember him ever doing something like that. But maybe I'm sure he was up before. But it seems like in the last 10 years or so, he's been on the bench sitting there watching.
That it is. It's been a fun ride for Nebraska volleyball. It will continue this week at the Final Four in Louisville. We're talking with Tom Shatel of the Omaha World Herald. Got to take our first break of the show. If you're on radio, you'll want to get to your app or to your social media, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. We're switching over to stream Monday Night Football over the air. I'll be back with Tom Shatel of the Omaha World Herald over stream right after this.
The holiday season is here, and Sartor Heyman is making your shopping easy. Shop our wide selection of necklaces, earrings, or bracelets to our amazing line of watches. Looking for something truly unique? Consider our estate jewelry, or even build your own custom handcrafted piece with our in-house designers. The perfect gift at the perfect price. Christmas memories start with family and Sartor Heyman.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Hey, Husker Nation. This is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top-quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Back Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back to Ticket Weeknights. Austin Oerman with you, joined on our Allo Fiber VIP line by Tom Shatel of the Omaha World Herald. Tom, I did accidentally, not intentionally, almost get you in trouble last week. Early revelation of your Heisman ballot. Now that it's out, Travis Hunter is the winner. Can you confirm your Heisman ballot for me?
Yeah, I went Essen Genti. Boise running back with him first, and then Hunter, and then Dylan Gabriel.
Very nice. Those do end up being the top three in the Heisman voting. We had a question, Tom, based kind of off your story from last week, right? Being in the press box and having people come up to you and tell you they should have voted for Tommy Frazier instead of Eddie George for Heisman. We had a texter during a previous show ask, who was the bigger Husker Heisman snub? Was it Tommy or was it Ndamukong Suh?
Well, I don't know. I mean, they're both snubs. I guess I thought Tommy was the best player in college football his whole career. I mean, maybe the first year or the sophomore year, Charlie Ward deserved the Heisman. But Tommy played right with him in the Orange Bowl. He was they basically the New York media gave him the Heisman the very next year, the opener at the Meadowlands when they beat West Virginia. Then a month later, he's out. But people saw again in the Orange Bowl, even though they played two guys, they saw how much he meant. And I thought the 95 was a snub. It was a vote against Nebraska. It wasn't a vote against Tommy. I think a lot of people were angry about Osborne playing Lawrence Phillips, and there were, this was way before cell phones and social media and all that stuff. I got the letters and I read the columns every day across the country. People were angry at Nebraska. What's he doing? It's a winner all cost program. They've got all kind of bad guys running around campus. It was like we don't really want this team around kind of mentality. And and he was just best player. And I'll never forget. I got told. I think we talked about this last week, but I love when Tommy. You talk to him about the run against Ford, and he hates that run. He doesn't like it. He thinks it didn't count because the Florida guys quit. But he said, I said, okay, what's your favorite play? And I remember when he told me, I remembered it immediately. It was in Colorado, incredible atmosphere. Colorado's good, as always. That was Neil Heisel's first year. And they were waiting for him at Folsom Field. Nebraska's number one. And they're steamrolling everybody. And they had the Lawrence Phillips stuff. All the Colorado radio shows were all over that. And they had all the farmer jokes and all that stuff going. And get to the game, and they had some big Samoan guy under the scoreboard. He's pounding war drums, and they had wartime flashing on the scoreboard. And this team runs out through the individual tunnels in the stands, like they're running through the stands onto the field. So the team is coming through the Colorado cheering section out through the tunnel, down the steps, onto the field while they're pounding wartime. And so I remember Osborne after the game was saying, well, he told the team, if you have to do that, you don't think you can win. And it was very good advice. But anyway, that was the deal that day. And it was a really good game. Nebraska had no penalties. They were played almost perfect. But there was a play in the second quarter I mean, that was the game where Amon Green for the freshman, first play of the game, takes a pitch and turns the corner, and it's blocked to absolute perfection. And there's a great photo of Amon Green coming toward the camera on the sideline, and you can see Neuheisel's face behind him. His mouth's open, like, oh, crap. And his very first play of the game. And the Nebraska always used to do that to these people. They'd scheme it, and we can score in this play. Except the second quarter, Tommy's was a crucial third down, 3rd and 8 or something. Tommy goes back to pass, and he gets hit. I believe it was by I call it Matt Russell, who was like an all-big 8 linebacker. Hits him, and he's going to sack him. Tommy he holds himself up, and he completes a pass to Amon Green for the first down while he's being sacked. I remember that play, and he goes, "That's my favorite play of all time." And I said, "I understand that totally." So, but yeah, I really think he should have been the poster boy for that era, and in some ways, nationally, he wasn't, and wasn't his fault. So I always think that's kind of a bigger snub to me, because I really think I think he didn't get the vote for other reasons than that he was an offensive player. That gets pursued. People are just out of the habit. They're not going to, Charles Woodson got it because he returned punts.
Yeah.
If he hadn't returned punts, he wouldn't have won the Heisman. It'd have been Peyton Manning. Mm. But he was seen as this two-way kind of guy who could beat you in a lot of ways. And, very good, obviously. But the punt return at Ohio State that year, or the beat Ohio State that year, when Michigan was number 1, that got him the Heisman. That was his moment. So, anyway, yeah, the answer, I'll always say Tommy was the biggest snub.
You witnessed them both, Woodson and Travis Hunter. Which one you taking?
Sorry, which one? What?
Yeah, which player are you taking? Who is better, Charles Woodson or Travis Hunter?
Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, that's a great question, and I think Woodson probably could have been a receiver too. They just didn't do that back then. But I mean, I've seen Travis Hunter at his very best, and it's eye popping with stuff. He makes incredible catches, look easy, and he's making plays. He knocks out the ball. I think it was against Baylor at the goal line, and other games like in Nebraska, he really didn't do much. I mean, he was, they had. I think John Bullock covered him for a while. I mean, it's just like I didn't. So I think there's some games he's unbelievable. I mean, I just look at the way I vote is usually what did you mean to your team. Mm-hmm. Boise's in the playoff, and they had to go to Oregon. I take that into consideration. The Colorado's going to the Alamo Bowl, so and they could have been in the Big 12 championship game, but they didn't finish. So I'm not saying I hold that against them. I just give more points for what the team's doing.
Fair enough. Before we get into some Husker football minutia here too, Tom, did you ever think you'd see the day when little old Nebraska basketball would take down basketball power Indiana 4 straight times?
Yeah, that's and the people in Indiana are calling it embarrassing. I guess we should have called it embarrassing when they lost to Indiana football this year. It kind of was. It kind of was embarrassing, but I think we all just kind of gave Indiana credit for being having a good coach and kind of being on a roll. But yeah, I guess looking back at it, yeah, it was kind of embarrassing. But no, I don't. I think that speaks to. I think the matchup is big. I think Nebraska's they don't give a lot of 3-pointers up, and Indiana that's kind of how they live. But yeah, Nebraska plays well in the Big Ten. They the Michigan State game they did, but the games where the other games are more the norm than the Michigan State game is. So, and Indiana's just kind of there. They're okay. That's not what Indiana wants to be, obviously, but I think Nebraska will do well again in the Big Ten. Defense travels. It obviously missed for playing the East Lansing, but I think they're going to be fine, and they're going to win a bunch of games. And but yeah, isn't that something? That drives them crazy. It absolutely drives Indiana folks crazy that they would lose to Nebraska basketball. It's. I was thinking about that yesterday, Austin, at the volleyball, but the Nebraska Devaney Center. I'm really happy for the Devaney Center. I look at stadiums and arenas like they're living things, like they have a heart and soul, and they feel things. And the Devaney Center to me was, it was an afterthought in the days of the Big 8 basketball. It was just somewhere you had to go play. It wasn't really special. Most teams thought that they were going to win there. Once in a while the crowd got up for KU or Missouri, but in general they've had their moments. But now it's like the Devaney Center is the mecca of volleyball. It's the one of the top volleyball, if not the top volleyball venue in the country. And I'm happy for the Devaney Center that it gets to do that. It gets to, after being sort of this afterthought, it just made me think. Yesterday, people kept saying, I haven't heard it this loud since Jamar Johnson hit the shot to beat KU in 92 in overtime. And I was there for that, of course. Yep. I've been seemingly everywhere, but no, there have been many more volleyball noises bigger than that, and that's just kind of where we are right now. The Devaney Center is a place where, at that match yesterday, the Jamar Johnson noise happened every other point. It's like it just was the noise all day. So anyway. I've gone and done it again. I've went down some of the rabbit hole, and I've hijacked the show. But as Billy Tubbs once said, what was the question?
I don't even remember. All I know is I was enjoying listening. So thank you for taking me along for the ride. I do a show with Eric Strickland 2 to 4 every day, so I'm very familiar. He is very appreciative of the Devaney Center's basketball efforts. But Tom, I think this can even be a transition into Nebraska football, the news of the day here in just a second, though. Nebraska volleyball has the best of both worlds, right? It has a bigger than normal volleyball arena that it calls home, but still small, still intimate. Noise bounces off the walls. It sticks around. It is an incredible environment. And yet it can still sell out 92,003 seats at a football stadium. I don't think you need to say anything more on John Cook's resume than those two facts alone, that a big environment feels small and intimate, and yet they can make one of the biggest environments in sports feel the same way as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree.
On that note, Memorial Stadium will not be the site of Nebraska football's season opener in 2025. The Huskers will play down at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. This game originally scheduled with Cincinnati to be played at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. Not exactly a rosy history for Nebraska football at Lucas Oil Stadium in its one Big Ten championship appearance. But, Tom, Nebraska does have some history at Arrowhead Stadium in the 2006 Big 12 championship game under Bill Callahan. What do you remember from that game?
It was very cold, and Oklahoma had a play early, or maybe Nebraska fumbled. A Mo Purify fumbled on a near the sideline. Oklahoma recovered, and I thought Nebraska had a very good defense that year, very good team. Ended up going to the Cotton Bowl. Zach Taylor was obviously. I think he was a Big 12 Player of the Year on offense. It was just cold, and they Oklahoma just kind of went ahead, and Nebraska's offense didn't have a whole lot to do that night. So, but what I remember, I'll never forget this. This is one of those things I'll never forget in my career. I was driving home the next day, a Sunday, and it's the first weekend in December or whatever. We're driving back to Omaha, and on I-29, I think right around the St. Joe area, I pull over, and there's like a truck stop, or I went to get a pop or something, and I'm walking in, and there's a line at the register, and there were some Husker fans there, and the one guy with his Husker shirt on. Everybody's going back to Nebraska. Looks like they're all hungover, pretty quiet from the late night game and the whole scene. This guy, I looked at him, and his face was caked with blood. Like he had like this caked red stuff on his face, and he was obviously hungover. I was like going, that's the picture of that game right there. The fan who's got blood caked on his face, and he's, standing in line with a drink or something, and he's going back home. It's just like, that's the weekend right there. So I'll never forget that.
How much do you like this game being at Arrowhead for Nebraska? And then also it's on a Thursday, right? It's all the eyes on Nebraska. Do you think that sets up well for the Huskers to get 2025 started off on the right foot?
Oh, it's absolutely brilliant. I mean, I'm sure Cincinnati, when this was scheduled, they were not in the Big 12 yet. Maybe they were. But they've got Dave Stacy dollar signs. They, and actually this might have been Luke Fickell, the head coach, when they get this game. I don't remember how far back it went. But obviously dollar signs. Well, we can get Husker fans. Obviously, you'd love to have Nebraska come into your stadium. Nippert Stadium in Cincinnati on the campus there, a nice size park for the Big 12, but certainly not big by any means. So they said, well, we take it to Indianapolis and we can get a lot of more fans in. Nebraska fans will show up, and we'll get the gate. Well, Nebraska apparently talked them into coming to Arrowhead, get the bigger gate. So I'm sure money talked here, but Nebraska gets a home game out of it. You turned a road game into a home game, and it's perfect. I wish they'd do this more. I wish they'd do this once every 5 years. For a while in the 80s, they did the Kickoff Classic, 83, 88, 94, 98. They went to Arrowhead. It seemed like every 4 or 5 years they played in one of these big stadiums. The benefit being you can get a team to play you that maybe wouldn't come to Lincoln. If I could nominate a game, I would say let's go down to Dallas, Jerry World, to play LSU. And Nebraska LSU would be great on campuses, but if we can just get it anywhere, let's put it somewhere halfway. And Nebraska recruits Texas. I think would they go to Chicago? I don't know who they'd play in Chicago. Probably wouldn't get an SEC team to go up there. Maybe they would, but you go to Arrowhead, you get Missouri, you get K-State, and maybe you could get Oklahoma to go there. Although that's scheduled for the campuses down the road. But I understand in an era of revenue sharing that you want to have home games and you want to have those the paydays in Lincoln. So they're not something you would do all the time. But I do believe in power of the neutral site stadium, NFL stadium that is on TV, and it just looks bigger than any other game because you're in a bigger stadium. The crowds and it's early in the season. Maybe August, you play this in August, and I'd love to see him do it more often. They have an opening in 2027 right now. They have a non-conference opening unless they filled it. Maybe since August, maybe they filled it. I can't remember, but I also think they just have 6 home games that year right now because of the Big Ten. So maybe they need to have an extra home game. So anyway, I love the Arrowhead thing, 3-hour drive, and a lot of good karma in that stadium right now for teams that wear red. So, why not?
Hey, Nebraska really leaning into the Dylan Raiola is the next Patrick Mahomes thing. No, I'm kidding. That is absolutely not part of the equation for Nebraska football. Funny enough, Tom, Nebraska has hired away one of the Chiefs' assistant defensive line coaches. Terry Braden Jr. is on staff now. They also had Addison Williams on staff to coach the defensive backs. Much different group coaching with Matt Rule now than he started with at Nebraska. A lot more assistants with NFL experience on staff now. What does that signal to you about the direction that Matt Rule thinks his program needs to take?
Well, I talked to him about that last week, and I wrote about it for Sunday. He's adding age. I mean, John Butler is an older guy. He's like 51. But you think about some of the coaching staffs Nebraska's had the last 20, 25 years. The Bo Pelini guys there were some young guys there. Scott Frost guys had never been at this level. Most of them hadn't been at this level. So, the Mike Riley guys were off in Oregon or something. So, and you bring in Phil Snow, who's coached since the late 70s. I mean, this is experience, wisdom. What thing I loved about I was looking at Phil Snow's resume. He's been everywhere and done all this stuff. He was the defensive coordinator for Arizona State, 1995, when Nebraska beat him like 70-20. And then he was the defensive coordinator for Arizona State the next year when Arizona State shut out Nebraska to give them their first loss in 3 seasons. So, he's seen some stuff. He's clearly very good. Rule told me that he likes the idea of bringing in young coaches who can recruit and surrounding them with older guys who know how to coach. And so they take the great recruiters and turn them into great coaches. I think it's good to have people say, well, why does he need Phil Snow? Why does Rule need all these? Why does he? You can't have enough great coaching in the room. You can't have enough people. You can't have enough opinions that matter. You can't have enough wisdom and experience. I mean, speaking as a old part, I mean, I believe that people my age who've been through it, who can help. But the Brad hire was really interesting because he's leaving the Super Bowl run to come here, and I assume he's here. Is he staying with the Chiefs or is he coming here? I guess
I assume
he'll be here because he can help with the portal right now. People, defensive linemen, look at him and go, "Well, he's just won a Super Bowl, won 2 in a row. He coached Chris Jones, so." And he's relatively young. He's been around a good 10 years or so. But Andy Reid doesn't hire bad coaches. He doesn't surround himself with people who don't know what the heck they're doing. So I think that this is a great hire. Somebody who probably wants to be a defensive coordinator one day. I'm going to guess. So you bring him in and. And then I don't know the secondary coach that well, but I feel like this is Matt Rule's defense. He's the defensive guy. He knows what he wants, and he thinks John Butler can do it for him. And he's going to bring in Phil Snow, as a sort of a buffer. John Butler hasn't been a coordinator. He was a coordinator one time, but he's certainly been around defenses, and he's been around defensive coordinators. He knows what defense is, but it doesn't hurt to have an extra guy in the room. So I love what he's doing. It's what you do. After 2 years, Rule said that Bill Belichick and Bill Parcells once told him, your first staff is never your best staff. Usually about 2 years in, you figure things out and you start resetting a little bit. So I think this is a natural order of how this staff is going to go. And, I look forward to be better.
Bill Belichick, that's one of those guys that, made a real quick pit stop in Lincoln for a coach's clinic speech. And now, Tom, we haven't talked about this. Bill Belichick is in college football. What does that mean for the college football game?
Yeah, he's, I think it's great, but doggone it, kids right now are going places for the money, not because of the head coach necessarily. And I hate to say that, but certainly some kids are going to go there. They might turn around after a year and leave. I mean, here's my question on Belichick. They're kind of inseparable. My question on Belichick is, he's used to the best of the best. The NFL is the best of the best. If somebody's not doing their job, they get cut, or they're benched, or they've got somebody ready to go behind him. College football is not like that. College football is made up of majority of people in college football are not going to play in the NFL. They're not the best of the best, but they got a little talent. They're coachable, hopefully, and they're going to try real hard. But he's going to be surrounded by players who will make mistakes, and more so than he ever has in his career. So, how's he going to handle that? Is that going to drive him nuts? And by the way, he's got a buyout. His buyout goes down to $1 million next June. What does that mean? And so, I mean, I don't get that. So, was that a case of NFL team trying to hire him right now or in January? It's all very interesting.
It really is. One last thing for you then, Tom. With Matt Rule's new coaching staff, do you have a sense that this is Matt Rule adapting to college football the way it is instead of the way he envisions it or wants it to be ideally for him, right? Not necessarily a developmental style of game like maybe Matt Rule wants it to be at his core, but more of a system where he's lucky to have guys for 2 years instead of them really getting their careers on the field started after 3 years in the program. Is that maybe part of the move to more NFL experience?
I think they think that they can still retain players, that they can still keep them. They know they're going to lose some. This year things are skewed because they had to cut. They had to get down to a number. As you recall, last year they didn't lose that many guys. So this year a bunch of them left. Was that because of they had to cut down to 105 or not? I don't know. But I think you make a good point. I think, and Rule told me last week, he said, we're going to use the portal as a weapon. We're going to go after and get things that will help us. So, before he wasn't really into the portal. I think he doesn't want to go all in on it, but you clearly in college football today, if you're not using the portal, you're not getting better. You can get immediately better. And the big thing with college football is get older. We've seen the teams that have experience and older guys win. Indiana is all older guys. This year we saw quarterbacks, Illinois, Indiana, and UCLA beat Nebraska. They were all older guys, 4 or 5 year guys. So older guys matter. So I think he's seeing that. It's going to be a blend with him, but I do like that. And I think Holgerson is an interesting case. He's just hearing him talk, he seems to like the portal. I think he likes being able to go out and just, kind of find guys who are going to fit his offense. So he's embracing it. I'm going to guess that John Butler and Phil Snow are going to be there as like talent evaluators. Guys who've seen a lot of players, and Butler was in the NFL. So, I mean, I think these guys are there to watch film and look at who they can bring in. So, and certainly the new guys, the younger guys they brought in could do that as well. But yeah, I think if they hire Phil Snow, their staff will be 70. The football staff will be 70. So
that's a whole travel roster.
Well, I mean, and that's just the whole building, their football building of 70 people on staff, and that's why it's a modern college football program. It's a year-round game now, year-round sport of talent evaluation, trying to keep what you got, and if you lose them, you can go out and immediately know what you want, and you get the NIL. 1890 is part of the deal, and they're they've been doing very well. So yeah, it's a whole new ball game. And Rule, look, when he came here 2 years ago, he'd been away for 3 years. He'd been in the NFL, and college football immediately changed. Well, college football has changed upside down since in the last 2 years. I mean, again, now you're seeing these kids leave, and sometimes they come back. Maybe the money wasn't there, but the kids are now have handlers, and people are saying, agents, you can get more over here. You deserve more. You should do this. You should be that. And so sometimes you get a guy for 1 year and he's gone. So, and you can't panic. You can't cry about it. You got to just replace it. That's just the world they live in. So, somehow, they're still coaching. They still have practice where the old school guys can still lace them up and go blow a whistle and get people to do stuff. But it's a mad world right now.
Indeed it is. Tom, thanks as always for your hour. We'll see if we can touch base with you next week. But if not, have a very Merry Christmas. As always, thanks, Tom. Great to talk to you.
You bet. Thanks, sir.
It's Tom Shatel of the Omaha World Herald with us on our VIP line, brought to you by the great people over at Allo Fiber. That's where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Covered a lot of ground with Tom, some Husker volleyball, some Husker hoops, and then some Husker football there at the very end. That'll do it for me. Don't go anywhere. We got more Ticket Weeknights coming your way momentarily.